Our general view in regard to West Asia has been frequently stated. Our approach is not inimical to any country there. It is friendly to all countries, but inevitably our sympathies are with the Arab countries and with Arab nationalism, which represents today the urge of the people. Also, according to our journal policy, as well as our views on the present situation in West Asia, we do not accept that foreign troops should be used in any territory in the area in the circumstances prevailing there. We are convinced that there can be no settlement and no return to normality till foreign troops are removed from the area. Sometimes it is stated that these countries should be treated like tender infants and be under the guardianship of bigger countries. But it is quite clear that they do not like this offer of guardianship and patronage, and in fact, resent such suggestions. One has to take to some extent a historical view of the developments in West Asia. For hundreds of years, these countries in West Asia were under Turkish domination. They came out of it the end of the First World War. The Western powers decided what they liked about these countries without really caring much for the wishes of the people. Probably there was no organized way for the people to express their view. New nations were created and the contacts of the Western powers were with the rulers of their own creation or chiefly with the landed gentry. There were few contacts with the people. The whole period between the two worlds war was one when Arab nationalism was trying to push out this foreign domination and was gradually making some progress in that direction. Then came the war and the post-war period when much has happened in the various countries of Middle East. The major fact in West Asia is the growth of Arab nationalism in a very powerful resurgent way. Egypt took the lead in this matter and under the wise leadership of President Nasser has played a very important part. Nasser in fact became the most prominent symbol of Arab nationalism. This fact which was patent was neither liked nor appreciated by many powers, and an attempt was made to split the Arab countries, in fact Arab nationalism. This should not be allowed to happen in the interest of global peace. The House may remember the talk about building up the northern tier defense and about the Baghdad Pact. The motives were supposed to be to protect these countries from attack of invasion from the Soviet Union and to give them security and peace. As a matter of fact, the result was quite the contrary. The troubles of these countries only increased because of such an approach. The Arab countries, at any rate, the governments were divided, some in the Baghdad Pact and some outside it. While the government carried on a cold war against each other, the people almost in every Arab country were powerfully affected by this side of Arab nationalism. Thus, in the countries associated with the Baghdad Pact, there was a gap between the government and the people, the looking more and more towards Arab nationalism and the government looking in another direction and rather ranged against the spirit of Arab nationalism. I believe it surprised even the people in Iraq and Egypt. The surprise was not essentially that it took place, but the speed with which it took place and the complete success which attended it. It showed how utterly divorced from public opinion the government of Iraq was. When the change came, it brought tremendous relief all over Iraq, and the people flocked to the side of the new government. So this attempt at not recognizing the spirit of Arab nationalism, even trying to come in its way and obstructing it, really achieved the opposite effect it encouraged nationalism as such an approach will inevitably do. This has resulted in the Arab nations coming nearer to one another and will no doubt bring about a great deal of cooperation between them. It was said that some kind of an Arab empire was being built up which was dangerous. I do not know about the future, but I see no empire, much less an Arab empire. The theory of the vacuum is sometimes advanced as if the removal of the influence of some great powers must necessarily be filled in by some other powers. It is an extraordinary appraisal of the situation which does not recognize the effect of Arab nationalism, which has become such a dominant force. We are convinced that any of the problems of West Asia must be based on the recognition of the dominant urge and force of Arab nationalism. Any settlement must have the goodwill cooperation of the Arab nations. The need of the European countries for oil is patent, but there should be no difficulty in arriving at a friendly arrangement which ensures the supply of oil. I should like right at the beginning to say that I welcome the amendment which was proposed to the draft resolution by the Foreign Minister of the United Arab Republic. The amendment makes effect change, but I think it is a happier way of putting forward the idea contained in the resolution. When I had the privilege to put forward the resolution from 5 nations before this assembly, I expressed the hope that it would be accepted unanimously. It did not seem to me reasonably possible that any member of this assembly could object to the resolution. It was straightforward. It contained nothing in it against any individual or this group or that group, but it did represent a strong and passionate desire that things should get moving and that this assembly should not sit paralyzed as if it could not act. Therefore, it was with considerable surprise that I received the paper containing an amendment on behalf of Australia. I read it with care. I found some difficulty in understanding it, and the more I read it, the more surprised I was that any member of this assembly should have put this forward as an amendment. I venture to place before this assembly my reasons for this. First of all, it seemed to me quite patently that it had nothing to do by way of amending the proposition which we had put forward. It is not an amendment. I do not perhaps know the rules of this assembly, but it is not an amendment. It may be, of course, a separate resolution in some form or another, and might have been brought forward and considered by this House. If it was so considered, I would have much to say about it and against it. The Prime Minister of Australia, in his speech, made quite clear that it was not an amendment, although he might call it so. Therefore, I could not quite understand what meaning lay behind this amendment. I have the greatest respect for the Prime Minister of Australia, more especially for his keen mind and ability. I wondered if that keen mind had not tried to cover up with a jumble of words something which had no meaning at all. I was particularly keen to listen to the Prime Minister of Australia in the hope that he might throw some light on this aspect. He stated clearly that he dissented from the last paragraph of the resolution, a very innocuous one, nevertheless with very considerable meaning. A very innocuous one, nevertheless with very considerable meaning. In fact, the whole resolution led up to this paragraph, the rest being a preamble. Therefore, he dissented from the very basis of the resolution. Coming forward with this amendment, he said that the effect of the resolution, if carried, would be undesirable. I wondered if I had understood him correctly or if I had made some mistake in regard to what he said. Why, I asked the Prime Minister, from any point of view or from any approach, could the passage of the resolution possibly be undesirable? I have given thought to this matter, but I am quite unable to understand his reasoning. Therefore, it must be undesirable from some point of view of which I am not aware and which had nothing to do with the resolution. That is the conclusion I arrived at. I would put it to the distinguished assembly, with respect and without meaning offense, that this is a rather trivial way of dealing with this is not only important question but vital question which is shaking the world by calling it an amendment of the resolution.